Okay, well, I'm glad that you guys are here to paint with me today. And so we're going to be painting a little turtle swimming up to the surface. And we're going to be using acrylic paints, I hope. Everybody should be using acrylics that cleans with water. I'm going to paint today with just our primary colors plus white and black so that I can tell you how to make other colors in case you don't need them. But if you want to, we're going to be making pink, which is red and white. And we're going to be making green, which is blue and yellow. If you have green, you don't want to make it, you could go ahead and put those colors out. But we're going to need red, blue, and yellow, and white and black. And if you want, like I said, if you want to make, if you already have green, you don't want to make it, you could just put green out, and we won't make those colors. But I'm going to be teaching on the point that we're making the colors. So however you want to do it. So we're going to start out painting with just pure white, and it's in the center of our, we're going to start painting right here, kind of in this, not right in the middle, because this would be the middle. So if this is the middle, we're going to go up just a little bit towards the corner, and we're going to paint, start with a white paint. And we're just going to, I don't know why I've used this brush, but I like this brush, this size brush, because we're going to be coloring in or filling in our entire canvas. So we don't want a real tiny brush. We'll be here all day. So get a nice medium-sized brush and get it loaded with some white paint. This is a fully loaded brush. Fully loaded means it's paint on all sides of the bristles. And we're going to go in that area, and we're just going to paint a white circle. And that's it, just a white circle. I think my paintbrush might have had a little bit of blue on it. And then I'm going to take a little bit of blue and a little bit of white, and I'm going to mix them up and make a light baby blue. So I'm going to go around the outside of my white with that, just so you can see my white. So the inside I painted white, and I went on the outside with a baby blue. And I'm just going to keep painting around and around in a circle. And I'm going further out as I go. Round and around, I'm going further and further out. Round and around and around and around. You see how I'm getting further and further out as I go? And I'm going to keep doing that. And if you need to make up some more blue, you can make some more blue. And as we get further out, we're going to use more blue and less white so that it gradually gets darker. Oh, I got a little bit too dark there. See how I got darker? So I want to lighten that up because I don't want it real dark yet. I'm going to work from lighter to darker as I go out, but I'm doing this motion in a circle because this is the surface. We're looking up at the surface. When we're all done with our painting, that's what that's going to be. That's the light shining through the surface. Okay. Now, if you want to, once you got that circle and you want to go, if you want to go in and you want to put a little bit of blue inside your circle, I'm going to go up close so you can see what I just did. Very, very lightly, you could put some blue inside your circle so that it isn't just a white spot. It's kind of faded in. And you can always take white, and if you want to, you can go back with some white and add a little bit of white around your circle on the outside there, just so that it looks like it's a ring in the air, up in the sky there. Okay, I'm going to keep working. We're going to work and fill in the rest of our canvas using the blue. And like I said, as we get further out, we're going to use less white and more blue so that it gradually gets darker. Once you go to straight blue, if you want to overlap the two colors just a little bit, that'll kind of help it to blend in a little better so it doesn't look like you just went right from one color to another. It would look like that there was just a smooth transition. Just blend the two colors a little bit together. Now all of this area on this one side over here is actually going to be black. So if you don't want to go all the way to the edge, you can just think about where the cave edge would be, and you could go that far over, which is what I'm going to kind of do. You can even take the blue and you can outline it a little bit so you know where the guide is. I'm actually going to do that now. I'm going to take the dark blue, and let's move this up a little bit. I'm going to go up to the top of my canvas. This is the middle of the canvas. I want to go like an inch over from the middle. So if this is the middle, I'm going to go over a little bit, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to make a little bit of a, this is the inside wall of the cave. So we want it to be not smooth, it's kind of bumpy. And we're going to come down the side of our canvas. You can come out a little bit towards your circle, back in, and we're just maneuvering our way down the canvas. And then as we get towards the bottom, we're going to work back over again past the center. So actually this line here and this line here, if we would draw a straight line all the way through, they would actually almost meet up. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect because this is the inside of a cave. I mean, this is going to be all cave over here, and this is like looking out. So if that helps, then we're going to continue to do our circle to that line. Painting around in our circle, filling all this. This is all the water out here in the deep sea. You can go back and forth with the dark blue and the light blue. Just keep going back and forth, adding different tones in the water. So I'm just going to be quiet a minute now. I'm just going to paint, fill it all in. I want to keep my my lines going in a circle so that it looks like we're looking up towards the surface from underneath the ocean. So even though I'm over here in this corner, I'm still painting in this round motion of that circle that we started out. The same thing up here in this corner. Get the dark blue over in the corner. Now, those people who paint with me before know I like to paint my edges. So since I'm up here at the edge, I'm going to go ahead and start painting that edge now. Just because I like to paint my edges. But you don't have to paint your edges. It's just solely up to you and your preference. I really love what I see so far. Everybody's doing a great job. Okay, got my edges done. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to paint, fill this all in. And you know, as you're getting closer towards the bottom and away from that circle, it's getting darker. So you can just go to a straight dark blue. And I'm painting where I'm looking like I'm still painting in this circle. So if I was painting out here, I would be painting a huge circle. But I'm just working in the same little motion here. This is kind of how you would do a galaxy too, basically the same way if there was a little planet out there and we were painting a galaxy. We might could flicker some little stars out there. The ocean and the sky is very similar in how you paint them. Or not the sky, but the universe. There's all kinds of neat little fun things you can put in the sky, just like in the ocean. Okay. Getting closer to the bottom. You guys are too. Good. And once you get all the way done, if you want to just go over it lightly with a dry brush, it just helps smooth out any lines that you might see. You can do that. Make sure you fill in if you see any little white holes that you missed. And the more you go back and forth over something, then the smoother the blending of the colors will be. So just step back and look and see if there's anything jumping out that you need to keep blending. It should go from one color to another kind of smoothly.
You better clean up before you get put down for a nap. Those are your choices. Clean up or nap. What do you want to do?
All right, so it looks like everyone is pretty much ready to go on. No, I see, I can't see a couple paintings, so, okay. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. All right, Christy, I see ya. Okay.
Check your inbox.
I don't have anything.
I sent you a message.
I see when you first got on here, you said hi to everyone.
And I sent another message. I sent.
Yep,
You do? The one I just did to you?
Nope.
Privately?
Nope.
It was, do you think we can do a parrot painting?
A parrot painting? I'd have to find one pretty simple because
I'm good at painting.
Kind of complex. We'd have to find a real simple one to do.
I'm good at parrots.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I was going to paint a mermaid on your mailbox.
Dad would not approve.
I thought that. That's why I knew he wanted a crab, so I painted that crab on your mailbox.
Eli loved it.
You love the crab?
Mm-hmm.
I think he needed a mermaid though.
There was space in the back of it.
Yeah, I know. I usually don't do the backs. I didn't paint my back on my mailbox either.
Well, people go through the woods and look. And now it's going to be the best mailbox on the block.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like it.
For a parrot, you just have to blend the colors together like you do sky.
Mm-hmm.
And do the beak. And then it'll be okay. That's basically how you do it. I usually get a picture of my animal that I'm doing and do that.
Okay. You girls about ready down there? So you might not be on the bottom of your screen. You're on the bottom of my screen.
I am?
No. All right. I unmuted you.
I was asking.
I didn't hear what you asked.
Oh, I said we can move on a little bit.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and I didn't clean my paintbrush because I was going to use black next. But if you did clean your paintbrush, it's okay. Or if you didn't, black covers up everything. So we're going to paint with all of what's left on the canvas. Your cave is going to be black. So I'm going to use that same paintbrush that you had. We're going to go along the outlines of, let me move this up a little bit, outlines that you just did. Go ahead and outline that again. And then just fill it in with black. So I like to outline, get as close as you can to the blue, even overlap it a little bit so that there's no area between the black and the blue. So it looks like the ocean leads right up to the inside of our cave. So I'm overlapping it just slightly. And you know, maybe there's a little ledge out here. You make a little pointed ledge or however you want the shape of the inside of your cave to be. So once you get it outlined like that, you can step back and look at it and see, you know, we're going to put some plants in here. So maybe a little ledge here for some plants to sit on. Of course, we don't want any ledges up here because this is the top of the cave. So once you get it outlined, you can go ahead and fill it in and spread that paint out really, really good so that it dries fast. We want it to dry pretty quickly. And because we're going to be painting over top of it. So just really spread the paint out as far as it'll go before you get more paint so it's not super wet. You can paint with little X's or you can paint straight across. However you want to paint. Black usually covers and dries everything really well. I'm going to paint as far as I can with the black that's on my paintbrush before I get more because I want it to dry quickly. So eventually I'm going to be just dry brushing down here, which actually I think I'm almost there now. Almost used all the paint out of my paintbrush. And of course, you know, I like to paint my edges, so I'm going to do that as I go. I like to leave a little space on the side for me to hold so I can go ahead and paint my bottom. And then I can set it down on the easel and it can dry, but it gave me a little place. If I painted all the way down on the sides, I wouldn't have nowhere to hold when I turn the canvas over. So I like to do that. Then I can set it down here to dry and I can finish painting the sides. Spread the paint out. Okay, now I'm completely done with my cave part of the painting. So I'm going to step back and just look at it, make sure it's like I want it. And actually, you see right here, I think it would look kind of cool if it came out a little bit more. So I'm going to just bring mine out a little bit more. I think I like that a little bit better. So when you get done painting what you've outlined, just step back and look at it and see, does it look like you want it? Do you think you need to bring it out more? I like the idea of having a little more of the bottom of the cave down here. But everybody's painting is going to be different. So just step back and look at yours and see what you think about your painting. Okay, let's see. Another little ledge there. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's good. Now I'm just going to go over what I did with a dry brush. Starting at the bottom, I'm just going to go all the way back up with a dry brush, and that's just going to make sure that all my lines are smooth and that there's no clumps of paint anywhere. And I filled in all the little white pores on the canvas. And it helps it to dry a little bit faster. I'm just going to go all the way back up. Okay. Now I'm completely finished with my big brush, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the water and let you guys finish what you're doing. From what I see right now, they look amazing. Once you get your paintbrush all clean, you could just put it to the side. Always want to keep our paintbrushes nice and clean. Where'd you go, Ella Grace? You lost your picture. That looks good. I like it. I can't hear you. I know you're talking to me. Let me see. Hold on a minute.
Did you hear that bird?
Nope, I had you muted.
Hold on. Listen, you can hear, probably hear a bird.
Yep, I hear him. Which one's that?
Blue. He's the more talkative, good one. Here's the problems with the birds, though. Blue is the one that hates men, say Eli and my dad, but loves women.
Ah.
He's got a real thing about that.
Oh, yeah?
Big Bird talks and bites.
Oh, well, that's not good. Because those birds bite and they hurt.
And Polly just bites. But they won't bite they'll only bite if you threaten them or if you have a broom. They hate brooms. The lady used to threaten them with a broom.
Oh, all right. Let's get ready to paint, guys. All right, so I'm going to mute you again, Ella. We're going to go ahead and keep painting. All right, so now we're going to find, if you have a small brush, we want a little brush. I have 2 different sizes here. If you have a brush, either one like this would be good. Just either a small flat brush or either a small round brush, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. But we're going to paint some plants that are going to be way off in the distance, and we're going to paint them black. But I don't know if you remember last week when we painted the ones that look like little trees. They're super, super teeny tiny little trees way off in the distance. So we got to be really light-handed because we don't want to paint oak trees up front, little oak trees. So let's start by painting one. Let's just paint one right here on this little ledge. So our main stalk is going to come up just like a tree. And as you lift your brush as it comes up, then the branches get smaller. Now let's make a little Y. See my Y? I made the little Y. And we're going to work off that Y. We're going to come over to the Y and we're going to make a bunch of little squiggly branches coming off of each other in all different directions. Maybe even come down here closer to the ground. You can do a little zigzaggy one. There's all sorts of things that we don't even know what they are out in the ocean.
Are you doing that with green or black?
Black.
Black.
Yeah, it's way off in the distance, so it's just kind of like a little shadow of a bush back here. So once you get it like you like it, can you guys see mine okay? Bring it closer.
Miss Mary, do you think maybe you could like move your canvas just a little bit, because the screen's on the side, I can't see what you're doing.
What do you mean? Like?
Oh, I can see it now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see it, and I was like, what happened?
All right. So is that better? Can you see it now? Okay. So I made this little tree back here, and I got lots of little branches coming off in all different directions. The main thing about when you're doing trees, or even little bushes back here, is you lift your brush up as you go out, and then that makes it smaller as it goes out. And these are super tiny back there. If we move up a little bit more, you can make, just say you're making like a little grass, little spriggets of grass back here. What would grass do? It would grow up and out in different directions. So that's what we can do. Just make a little grass sprig back here. These are far off plants, so they're not real big. They're way off in the distance. And we're going to do that as we go up. And as we go up here, we're going to do the same thing, but they are not going up. Plants grow up, but we want it to look like it's in the inside of the cave. So in this case, we're actually going to paint them down. So we can make either little, whatever shape or plant or tree or bush that you want to, you could do them. But just make sure on this one you're painting down. And then kind of reaching towards the light.
I can't see.
Can't see what I'm doing? Oh, my bad. I forgot to move the camera up.
Oh.
So up here, we're painting down. Okay. And then the ones that are on the side, and you can put as many or as few as you want. The ones on the side, we're going to paint out. Everything is reaching for the light, because this is that's the sun and the surface, the light of the surface. So all the things that are growing in the ocean are just like the things that are growing on the earth. Everything reaches towards the light. So these over here would be growing out towards the light. Now you could do all these little sprig trees, or you can put some leaves on them. Remember, leaves are just touching it and with the side of your paintbrush and lifting up. And that makes it look like there's little things going on way off in the distance. Could be any kind of little plant under there. Okay, I'm gonna pull it closer so you guys can see what I did. Everybody can see?
Here's mine.
Looks good so far. So keep painting your little shadowed bushes back there in the back. So remember the ones up here are painted.
I'm not like doing shadows. I'm actually letting them be colored to make it more live because my mom likes live paintings.
Well, these are in the back, and they actually, because of the way the light's hitting them, they wouldn't have a lot of color yet because the light is going to shine down into the cave. And so the ones down here are going to have color in them. But these in the back, we don't want a lot of color in them because we want to push them further back. There's not a lot of detail. Now, if you add a little bit of color, it's okay. And
Yeah.
because we're going to be painting, the turtles are going to be shadows too. Because when the light is hitting it, that's the realistic way that it would look. You wouldn't see a lot of color from underneath. You would only see where the light is hitting with color. So anyway, I am about finished with my far away bushes, my little plants and my little spriggets and my little things going on down here. I think I might put one here. Maybe on this one. Remember those ones that were like, I think they're called sea anemones?
Sea anemones. Anemone.
Maybe I'll paint a few of those right here. And then I'll just go back in
Black.
and paint them black because the light's not hitting the top of them. And then I'm gonna go back and I'll put some light on top of it after I paint them in this color because we're seeing the bottom side of it, so we wouldn't see a lot of color. So I'll paint a few of those there. Okay, I'm gonna come closer so you can see. I painted those back there in the back. And once you're done with those, you can go ahead and clean your brush. Actually, you know what? You won't clean your brush. We'll go ahead and paint the turtles in the middle, and then we'll put all of our colorful plants down here in the cave. Give the cave time to dry. So when you're painting, even if you were going to paint these plants that I did in color, you should always start with your darker colors first, your shading and your shadows, and then you add the lighter colors on top. So it makes the lighter colors show up better and it gives it your dark and light tones. And if you did it light first and tried to cover it up with dark, or tried to put your dark shadows in there, it would cover up your light. So that's why we always want to start with the darker shades, or we paint from the back forward. Can everybody see my canvas good right there? It's not, no weird glare on it. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see everybody's paintings because from the ones that I see, they're so awesome looking. I just wish I was able to see them in person. You guys are doing a great job. But I think that from what I can see, everybody's pretty much ready to go on. Very nice. Looking good. All right, we can go back and nitpick on those little things. When we get done, you can go back and you can play here and there. We're gonna go ahead and paint our turtles. The turtle's body shape is an organic shape, but I'm thinking that it's not really oval, but it's close to oval, but it's sort of like a diamond. It's just a weird shape. So with that being said, let's paint the weird shape. So we're going to put two turtles up here towards the middle of the light. So one's going to be swimming with its face, like they're going to be headed towards each other. So let's do the first one first. And back towards the tail is a little more pointed. So I'm going to just paint the shape here first. And then we'll add the body. So it's kind of like a rounded at the top and it comes down to a point. Can you guys see it? I'll come up closer with my canvas in just a second. Right? So the point is the tail. So the first one is going to be almost like a teardrop or a raindrop. It's kind of rounded at the top and it comes down into a point. Okay, and then you can go ahead and paint it in. That's the shape. Then you can paint it in like this. And he has his little round head at the top here, so give him a little round head with a neck sticking up. A little teeny tiny head. And then I think they're called flippers on turtles. I'm not real sure. They're not legs. But can paint the top ones, or the front ones, not the top ones, are longer, but they're kind of like you're painting a 7. And then close to the body, they're a little bit fatter. So you can go back and fill them in. And then the back legs, it's just 2 little lines on each side. You're just swimming little turtle. Okay. And we're gonna do the other one. Same way, same shape, but maybe going in a different direction where his tail is going in a different direction. And then fill it in. And once you get your turtles on, you can stand back and look at them. And then you can judge, okay, I need to make the flipper a little bit bigger. I need to make the head a little bit bigger. You know, you can adjust. Let's say this one's kind of looking out at the other one, so I want the neck and the head to go in the opposite direction on this one because I want them to look like they're buddies. And then at the front flipper, like I said, it's fatter at the body and then it comes out smaller. And then he's swimming. So there's his.
Ta-da! It's Marianne.
Uh-huh.
Look.
Looks. All right.
I didn't quite do the turtles your way because I already had them sketched out
Mm-hmm.
on my things. They're a little bit bigger, and they aren't in the middle, but they're going towards each other, swimming around the moon type.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, everybody's painting is going to be different because we're all different artists. And I just suggest and I just teach you how to do it. But ultimately, it's your painting. Make it like you like it. Okay, I'm going to put this back up here. If anyone needs to see it up close again, I'll bring it back. But now let me stand back and see what needs to be done to my turtles. I think this turtle needs to be a little fatter. I'm going to make him a little chubby turtle. Okay, I like that. Much better. You know, part of, once you put it on, always step back and look and see what needs to be adjusted or worked on. And fix anything that needs to be fixed. I like that. I think those turtles are done. So, let me see. And we're going to be adding a highlight on the turtles, so I'm going to let that, but they got to dry first. So when you get done, go ahead and clean your paintbrush. Get all the black off because we're going to go to some colors now. I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to finish up your turtles. And we're going to be painting with green next. So if you have green, you can put your green out. If you don't have green, then you take a little bit of yellow and a little teeny tiny bit of blue, and you mix them together, and you will create green. And we're going to also be painting with pink. So if you have pink, you can get your pink out. If you don't have pink, you can take red and white and mix together. And it's just more white than red, just barely any red, and you'll create pink. Y'all see what my daughter got me for Mother's Day? She already gave it to me. My grown daughter got me a cup that says, "Go ask your dad." And then all my children think that's funny. I don't get it. They said that was my #1 thing to say. I don't remember that.
Oh, it must have meant whenever they asked you something, you told them, go ask your dad.
Yeah, I know. That's what they said. I said all the time. And then they tried to have sense on me a couple times. They would just go ask my husband, because my husband was a yes dad and I am a no mom. So they would say, they would ask me and I would say no, then they would ask their dad and he would say yes. And so then they just got to where they didn't ask me, they just went and asked him. And then I would get mad because they didn't ask me and I would say, go ask your dad. So anyway. She usually was wanting to go somewhere and I didn't want him to go because I was a no mom. Can I? Nope. Can I? Nope.
Can I?
Nope.
Well, you aren't my mom.
Nope.
I'm just waiting for. I'm doing my colors on in my cave right now. A few colors in my cave.
Mhm. All right. Are you guys ready? Everybody ready? All right. So if we have pink, which I don't have any pink because I was waiting on you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and make some pink. I'm going to take some white and a very, very small amount of red and mix them together and create a pink. Now, if I want a darker pink, I would add more red, which I'm going to do on half of my color. That way I'll have 2 different color pinks, because remember, I want to paint with the darker color first. That's the shadows. Then I'm going to paint with the lighter shade on top. So remember last week when we were painting the mermaids, we painted all these fun little things going on out there. These plants that we're going to do this time today kind of reminds me of cauliflower for some reason. But I'm going to use my dark pink on this, and I'm going to paint just a little squiggly line from the corner, reaching towards the light. So I'm going to come down some. So I start in the corner, and I painted a squiggly line up towards the light. And I think I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do another one off from the edge towards the light. So 2 squiggly lines. Then I'm going to go back to those squiggly lines and I'm going to paint with my lighter pink. Bunches of squiggly lines going off. All of them are reaching towards the light, all the way up. So I'm making almost like I made another little tree here. And you know, when the 2 meet, if they meet, they would overlap just like they would in real life. Trees overlap each other, bushes overlap each other. And this is just a real funky, crazy plant down in the water. Now off of each one of these, once I went up the branch, and I'm going to go back down. I'm going to fill in some more branches off of each branch that I just did. Little squiggly lines, they're all still going up towards the light. So each one of those branches get branches. And if they overlap each other, then they overlap each other. I'm going to do that to both bushes. Okay. I'll say when you look at it, so you need to, if you like it that way, then you leave it. If you think it needs more space filled in, you could go through on each of the branches you just did, and you can put more branches on those branches. And I took a little bit of red that time because I'm going to create some, I don't want it all the same. I want different tones. So I'm going to fill in some more. So branches on branches on branches, and they're all reaching towards the light.
We do some like green.
We will. But I'm still working on this one plant right now. Filling it in, filling it in. I want it to look like it's just got a lot of things going on this one plant right here. And they're all reaching out, reaching out. Now, if I get to the point where it's going to go over the cave wall, I would just take it over the cave wall. Remember those plants in the back? If you go over them a little bit, it's okay. Because in the real ocean, things overlap each other. Okay, and I think I'm done with that little branch. See, I went over the cave wall a little bit out into the water. He's reaching to the light. Now you remember these little things, I forgot what you called them. Are they anemones?
Anemones.
Yeah, and they were black way back there in the back. You can't see them. I want to put a few down here in the front, so I'm going to paint them with red though. I'm going to paint some nice red ones right here and give them a little bit of round circle on the top and then just pull it down. So paint a little circle and then just pull it down. Some can be taller, some can be shorter. So little circle and then pull down the edges. Let's go in a different direction this time. And they're the same way. If they paint over front of each other, they would in real life, so they don't all stand right next to each other. Some are in the front of, some are in behind of. I got a few painting from down here at the bottom and paint them little circles on the top and then just pull down the lines down the side. And then if you wanted to highlight these ones in the back, you could get a little bit of light, a little red back there, just a little highlight. I'm not going to paint the whole thing, just a little bit on the top, showing that they were red because the light might be hitting it. I don't just want them real bright though. I'm going to wash my brush.
Yeah, I think my painting's done. I might have to help with birds in a minute. All I've left is my signature.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and clean up and
All right, Ellie Grace, if you feel like you're finished, then you can go ahead and get your mom to shoot me a picture of your painting so I can share it with everyone. We're going to be adding a little bit of highlights to our cave wall.
I already did that.
You did? Okay, well then you're all set.
Okay.
Right, now if you haven't painted the green yet, we're going to go ahead to the green. If you need to make green, green is mostly yellow and just a little tiny bit of blue, and mix those up.
Or you just use red.
Or you can just use dark green, yeah. We're going to start out with, I am going to start out with a little bit darker green. That means it's got more blue than yellow. And I'm going to paint some plants starting down here on the bottom. that are just going to be wavy and just like grass. And I'm going to paint those down here, and I'm going to go right in front of some of the plants that I already did, because plants overlap. And then as they go up towards the light, they're all reaching to the light, they get smaller. See, I'm going to paint maybe a couple here. And then I think I'll come over here and I'll paint maybe one here. Sometimes you just got to look at your canvas and see where you need to put your plant, because your canvas might look different than my canvas. So I think I'm going to put one there, and then maybe I'll put one going up here like this. Okay, now remember when I said the lighter ones, as they go up towards the light, they're going to get lighter. So you can take just plain yellow, and you can go back over top of the plant, starting at the edge towards the light and coming down. And then it's going to get darker as it goes back, because those plants are being hit with the light up here. And then they just got darker as it went down. This little wavy grass. I'm just putting the yellow on the top and then just kind of bringing it down into the darker green. So it looks like that the light's hitting it. I don't like how this looks like it doesn't look like there's a lot of plants and stuff there. So I want to fill in some of these black spots. So, like I said, everybody's painting is going to be different. I think it's kind of plain there, so I want to put some more plants here just to fill it in some. So if you just take your paintbrush and lay it down like this, it creates leaves. So I'm going to fill in some of that blank space with just some leaves to make it look more filled in, because I think it needs to be filled in more. Then you can take some light yellow and drop in there to give it some highlights, so it's not all the same. Okay, yeah, that filled in nice, I think. Maybe a little grass over here. So always step back and look and see what do you need to do on your canvas. I like when I'm doing my plants to make sure I've got plants behind and plants in front of. Don't want them all to be right beside each other.
Miss Marianne, here's my painting.
Looks good. You're gonna have to send it to me.
I'll get my mom up here.
Okay.
Bye.
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 As you see, I have a lot of plants going on right here, but I want to push these plants back. So I am going to even add another plant in front of that, but I gotta let it dry a little bit. And I think I want to do, you could do any shape. There's so many thousands of different plants out in the ocean. You could probably do flowers in the ocean and it would be okay. Just want to fill in some space. But I want to plant something. I want to put something. I want to paint something in front of this flowers that pushes that back a little bit, or whatever those little green things are. So the green things are going to be in the back. Let me think. What do I want there? I think I'll just paint some more of, I like those little pink plants. I don't know what they're called, but I think I'll just paint some blue ones in front of this whole thing here. And I think that the baby blue will show up really good because it's in the sky. It just kind of brings them together. So I just put a little more, and these plants are in front. So I just paint right over top of that. And that pushes the green ones back. See how I did that? Just kind of painted layers. And I think that's good. I like that. Push the green ones back. So now the green things are out in the distance in the background, way in the back. And that's all painting is. It's layers and layers. Just keep adding layers. And when I paint these blue ones in front of the pink ones, it pushed the pink ones back. And I think I'm done. Maybe I'll paint some little blue grass down here. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead to the highlights. And I'm gonna do them, you can do them in white or you can do them in light blue. But over on the corners of our cave, where the light's hitting, you just want to paint some highlights. Now that's real bright, so you can tone it down by putting it on and then cleaning your brush. We're just going to go around the edges here and there, hitting it here and there. Just around the edges where the light might be hitting it. Okay, so once you put that on there, you can tone it back down by cleaning your brush, drying your brush, and then just paint over it again with just a teeny amount of black and kind of toning it in or mixing it in where it kind of fades together. Those two colors. See here where that blue is standing out real bright? If I paint over it with just a little bit of black, it tones it down a little bit and it turned it into a little gray color. But it looks more like a highlight now instead of a bright blue spot there. Just teeniest, smallest amount of black. See, the highlight's still there, but it pushed it back. Toned it down where it doesn't jump out at you. Okay, I'm gonna get my little teeny tiny brush now. The same thing goes for the turtles, so the light would be hitting the turtles too. So let's see. You think on the side here of the turtle, maybe on the bottom of the little leg, maybe that's where the light's hitting it. And around his little face. So just around the edges a little bit with a little bit of baby blue. And then take a little bit of black. Let me set that up a little bit more so you can see. And then just push it back a little bit more. Going over the little spots that you just made, highlights. I'm going to pull it up close so you can see. I just highlighted it and then I painted over it again with the black. so it doesn't show up real bright. It's just a little bit of light hitting it here and there. My son's gonna kill me. I keep painting on his laptop. Okay. Uh-oh. Barely, 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 a little teeny tiny bit of white I'm gonna add around my turtle's legs, on the outside a little bit, just so it looks like that. That's where the light's hitting him. Oh, can you guys see? I'll bring it up closer and see what I did. And I feel like mine's done. I don't know if you guys can see the whole thing. We back it up a little bit. All right, I think that I am ready to sign mine. And if